Hey guys, Brett Weiss here. Welcome to another video. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. It is super helpful. If you like retro gaming, you came to the right place. Since my recent Atari 5200 video got such good comments and some nice interaction, I thought I would show you guys my Atari 5200 collection in its natural habitat. The card-only games, the CIB games, the system, the controllers, and all that kind of stuff. So let's take a look. And my 5200 setup is back here in the corner of my game room. One of my favorite corners. A lot of second gen stuff back here. Older consoles for the most part. Space Invaders playing on the old CRT as it should. No one's playing it, so they won't last very long. Got the 2600 and some other great stuff. The 5200 trackball is on a separate table, as you can see in front of the regular table that holds the consoles. It's a beast. It's as big and even bigger than a lot of actual consoles for just the trackball, but it's got the keypads there, very much an arcade style trackball. It's amazing. And the 5200 itself here, it's a beast as well. It's a huge console. It's just massive. It takes up a lot of space, but well worth it. It's a great system. I've got several original controllers here, which a lot of people don't like because it's a non-centering joystick and they're fragile, but I've got some refurbished ones here that work well. It's got the dual controller holder that is used for Space Dungeon and Robotron, which I'll show you my copies here in a minute. And you'll notice I've got an Atari 5200 Wico joystick here, which is very hard to find. And it plugs into this keypad controller here for the full Atari 5200 controller. As you can see, it needs a joystick and the keypad, and it's awesome. These items are very rare. The Wico joystick and keypad for the system is super hard to find. Now back here, you'll notice I have an Atari 2600 Wico joystick. The reason I have that is because I have something that's also very rare, the Master Play 5200 interface. Unfortunately, to get this and the Wico 5200 joystick, very hard to find. I only paid $30 for this CIB Master Play interface. Got it at Retropalooza for a few years ago. It's worth, at the time, I haven't looked it up lately. At the time, it was worth about $200 or about $100. So I got a great deal on it. But yeah, you can use this in conjunction with a 2600 controller to play your Atari 5200 2600 style, at least with the controllers, which is pretty awesome. Because like I said, these original ones are fragile. That's the main problem with them. So yeah, pretty cool stuff, but again, very rare. Now let's go up to some carts and then some CIB copies, and then we'll look at more games. In the tub I've got under the table, so check it out. Frogger 2 3 Deep, very hard game to find. It's a fun game. It's very different than the original Frogger. It expands it to more screens, and it's just a lot of fun. Super Cobra, that's a great port. Parker Brothers does great work. These two Star Wars games are in high demand by collectors. Zaxxon, that's a solid port as well. Not nearly as well known as Zaxxon on the ColecoVision, but yeah, Sega, good stuff. And going up here, we've got some more card-only games, including Meteorites. This is a rare game for the console. It's kind of an asteroids type game. It's pretty fun. Preppy 2, or actually Preppy, it's a homebrew game. It's a port of an old computer game, and it's fun on the 5200. It's a good port. Pingo, one of my favorites for the console. And Kangaroo. Also got some Missile Command. Pitfall 2. I know a lot of you guys love you some Pitfall 2, and the 5200 version is solid. And, of course, Missile Command is great. And then Crazy Shootout. Some people consider this a hidden gem for the console. Let me know if you think so, if you played that game. Now, moving up here, we've got my CIB 5200 games, including the Mighty Dreadnought Factor by Activision. That's a fun game. There's an Intellivision version as well that's different, but still a shooter. Let's see, Boulder Dash. That's the homebrew port of the old classic maze game. Kaboom, that's a great version on the 5200 because you can, a second player can control the Mad Bomber. Keystone Capers, that's a favorite. That's a great platformer. Mega Mania, love that one. As you guys know that have watched my recent video on the console. Zone Ranger, pretty obscure Activision game there, pretty hard to find. Then got some real sports titles, Countermeasure, a couple of these games, Miss Pac-Man and Berserk in the generic box. Moon Patrol, one of my favorite games on the console. Love playing this one. It's a great port. It's a great side-scrolling shooter. Of course, Centipede is a classic, a must-own for the console. Space Invaders, obviously. Vanguard, amazing game. If you've only played the 2600 version or never played it at all and you love shooters. Shmups, definitely play that one. Gremlins is one of the better movie-based games for the console. Mario Brothers, I typically play mine on the NES when I want to play that game. And then Kicks, love this on the 5200. Tons of fun. Miner 2049er, a classic. It's got 10 screens, like the computer version, whereas the ColecoVision version has 11. Astro Chase, Parker Brothers, a little more obscure than some of these other Parker Brothers games. Gyrus is a fun shooter. Q*bert, a little tricky to control with the 5200 controllers for sure. Super Cobra, love this game on the 5200, another great side-scrolling shooter. And then you get to some other games here. Now up top, I've got Space Dungeon and Robotron 2084. They are packed in thicker boxes to hold the dual controller holder. Very cool, very exclusive to the 5200, the controller holder. Both of these games are phenomenal. Both are twin-stick shooters. Many of you have heard of Robotron 2084. Space Dungeon is more obscure, but it's actually just as good of a game, if you can believe that, considering how great Robotron is. Now, guys, let's go down here under this table. See these tubs? I've got more 5200 games in here, so let's dig through the tub that has the 5200 games. I've got some more stuff that just wouldn't fit on the shelves above. The Tub O games, including Dig Dug, excellent port. Not a big fan of the 5200 version of Galaxian, but Popeye is solid. Mr. D's Castle is really great. Hero is a cult classic, and I guess it's gotten so mainstream, maybe it's not even a cult classic anymore. It's just awesome. Jungle Hunt, Buck Rogers, and Star Trek, those are pretty tough to find. Sega games for the 5200, pretty cool, including Congo Bongo. Joust is a nice port. Got some CBS Electronics games there. Blueprint, Wizard of War, great port. And Mountain King, really interesting game that was also on the 2600. And then got some manuals here for my card-only games. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think. What's your favorite Atari 5200 game? And do you want to see another video where I point out 5 more 5200 games I still play a lot? Or maybe hidden gems for the console? Let me know in the comments. Thanks, guys, for watching. And one last look. There's the corner of my game room that has my 5200 in it. And I've got a complete video of my entire game room that you guys can find. I'll link to it in the description. All right, guys, talk to you in another video. We'll talk to you later. Daisy says goodbye.